Pure white backgrounds, that's what we're covering in this video. I'm going to take you through a recent shoot that I've just done. I'm going to explain how I achieve that pure white background in a small home shooting space and a couple of little tips that will help you achieve the same look. Welcome back, folks. It is great to have you here once again. I'm Barry Mountford. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at pure white backgrounds and specifically how you can achieve it in a small home shooting space. So ideally, I would have loved to hire a studio for this shoot where I had a lot of space to obviously light the background separately to my subject, set up a lot of flags so all that bounce light doesn't come back and bleed around the subject. But in this situation, in a home studio, it was last minute, so we needed to get it done. So I had to come up with a little idea to get that done as quickly and as efficiently as possible in this small shooting space. So I think this will help a lot of you guys out who are trying to achieve that same look. So I did record the actual photo shoot. I'm going to go through that with you, and I did actually do a talking headshot section after that to explain exactly how I done it. I'm going to let that video run and I will see you guys back here after I explain how you can achieve that pure white high key background look to your images. In this video we're going to be covering the high key background, pure white background, which is needed a lot of the time for product photography, for portraits, uploading to websites. It's requested quite a lot from clients. And this specific client that I had in the studio the other day wanted exactly that, pure white background, nice and clean, ready to upload to the website. Now, lighting a white background isn't that difficult, but what is difficult is that when you light a big space like this, all that light just bounces back, it bounces everywhere. And being in a small studio, it is not the best way to actually do it. Ideally, I would have hired a studio and had as much space as possible to separate my subject from the background, put up a couple of flags and stop any kind of spill coming around my subjects. But it was last minute and I've got a home studio, so I might as well make the most of it. So I thought it'd actually be a good video to share with you guys to show you how I achieved that. Now, one of the main aspects of the high key look is lighting the background. Now, ideally, you want the whole background lit perfectly, evenly, all the way around. So it's 255 all the way around across the board. If I show you a picture here that we've took of Ross, who was in the studio the other day, shooting some images to promote for his new brand of goalkeeping gloves. You can see, if I move the cursor around Ross, you can see it is pure white around him. But if I move the cursor away from Ross, you can see that light starts to fall away and it's not exactly pure white. So how do we combat that? Well, firstly, my thought in a small space like this is I don't worry about lighting up this whole area. I don't concern myself about that whole area. The only area I concern myself about is the one that's just going to come just outside of the subject. So if that's the case, I just need to be lighting up basically just that strip of this white background. And what that allows me to do is obviously, one, just use a couple of lights, two, not have to blast the whole background with light and not have that light bouncing back all over the studio. Now, obviously, with it being a small studio, having white walls, both sides, front and back, white curtains, objects that it's going to bounce off, you're still going to get a little bit of fill. But what I am trying to eliminate is the bleed coming around the edge of the subject. It's not really a great look. I don't eliminate it 100% in this situation. Ideally, I would need flags up, but it's just too small. I've set it all up before and it's not a great experience for the client. You can achieve it, but it's just not a great experience. So this is what I've come up with. So once we've lit the background, and I'm just lighting that with a Pixel Pro 300 and a Pixel Pro 100 from the ceiling, and that's just lighting that section. So I always start with the background lights first. I'll set them, I'll get my subject in place, I'll take a photograph. Because I'm tethered, I'm looking for the subject to be silhouetted, basically. Now, again, you won't be perfectly silhouetted in here because there is a lot of bounce light come back. So as long as it's silhouetted enough and it's not bleeding around, and I can see that it's pure white running down the side of him, that's exactly what I'm looking for. That's all I'm trying to achieve. So if you can imagine, if you had to go to a client's premises and you need to achieve this look, this will actually help you out. So my main light is the City 600, and I've just got that at a 45 degree in an easy open octabox. Nothing super special, but we did want a little bit of shadow on the side. We didn't want it totally clean, we just want a little bit of definition for images further down the line, the way we're going to use them. So that's what we went for. So that is the main key light on the subject. Now, add a bit of fill to lift those shadows because we're just using one light. I tend to use a bare bulb and bounce it off the back wall. But in this occasion, I've actually got a white blind which pulls down. That'll go all the way to the floor if needed. And I tend to bounce the light off that just to lift the overall shadows on the image. And again, by doing this and doing that, we're controlling the light on the subject, and the background is lit separately. But obviously when you look at the image, you'll be saying to yourself, well, that's not pure white all over the background. Well, actually, it's not, and I'm not actually worried about that because I've made sure that I've got a pure white kind of border going around my subject, and that's actually all I need. Because from this point, what I'll do is I'll take it into Photoshop, I'll use the lasso tool, and I'll literally cut out exactly where it's pure white. So I'll select that area, and then I'll create a mask. And below that mask, I'll create a new layer and just fill that with white, and then instantly, there you have a pure white background on your subject. So there you go, folks. That's how you can achieve that look in a small home studio. Now, I know it's not ideal, but it is a bit of a workaround. Ideally, I would like to hire a bigger studio so I can light the background separately to my subject, have my subject standing further away from the background, and even put flags up to stop any of that light bouncing back to around my subject. But this wasn't an ideal situation. It was last minute, so I had to come up with something, and this is what I've come up with. These things happen. Sometimes these are the obstacles that we've got to get around. So you would easily be able to take this idea away and use at a small place at a client's premises. So I thought it would be handy to share with you guys, and I hope you've gotten something out of it. If you have, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. If you want to continue seeing more videos like this, why not consider subscribing to the channel and flicking the notification bell so you can see when those videos are posted. I'm going to be back with more videos as well, and I'm looking forward to sharing them with you. So with that being said, I'll see you folks in the next one. See you then.